Catholics seem to be doing so many things which are like against what's in there.
Okay.
So I think that's the big problem that people have. It's not anything that you try to clarify about what's in there. It's just when it's something which seems to be against what's in there.
Yeah.
So, that's like the strange thing that I think a lot of people disagree with when it comes to Catholics.
Yeah, one might say an obvious example is our Marian doctrines. Such a great emphasis on Mary that we have, but that emphasis isn't found in the pages of the New Testament. It's certainly not in a clear way. We think that when you go to Revelation 12:1, that is Mary, and if that is Mary, and there's dispute about that because some say it's Israel, some say it's the church, some say it's not Mary, some like me would say it's all of those things.
Well, it can't just be Mary because it says that she went into the wilderness, but we know Mary didn't do that.
That's why I say it's all those things.
Yeah.
But if it is Mary amongst those other things, then it is an astonishing picture that's painted, and there are implications of that. What those implications are, John doesn't tell us, because the image changes. After a while, it goes to something else. Nonetheless, where are we then? We've got all these Marian doctrines. Well, this is because we have a doctrine of the church, which we say is clearly there in Scripture. That doctrine is the church of the church, is that Jesus established it. He never said write a New Testament, but he said he's establishing the church. St. Paul says in 1 Timothy 3:15, the church is the pillar and foundation of truth, which is a major statement about the church. It's not just an organisation that you belong to and you come along on Sunday and sing hymns together. It's something very, very profound. And existential from a Christian point of view, because without it, you can't be a Christian, because if it's the pillar and foundation of truth, if you don't have it, you can't have Christianity, because Christianity is truth. So this is the church, and it's to be perpetuated down the centuries, because it must be if it's the pillar and foundation of truth. And Jesus says he's going to make his church, he's going to establish his church, it can't be destroyed, and he says it's not going to be destroyed. So once you got to that, and the leaders of the church, the apostles, are going to die, so there's got to be other leaders after them. It seems to me sensible to believe that. And you've got to be led into all truth down the ages. Then there's no reason to deny the possibility of doctrines being espoused which are only in seed form in the New Testament. It doesn't mean that a particular Catholic doctrine is automatically true. It's just to say, in principle, you could have a doctrine in seed form, which is then espoused in more detail later on. The question, though, for a non-Catholic is, so how do we know some of these Catholic teachings are true, as opposed to just made up by some imaginative bunch of Catholics?
Well, philosophers.
Yeah, philosophers even, Well, I would say then that once you find out which is the church that Jesus established, then you know you're on safe ground. Now, if the church that Jesus established is not the Catholic Church, then all of our teachings are to be cast aside as man-made. It's clearly the case that's man-made. If the Catholic Church is true, then you don't accept them by looking at each doctrine to see what you think it means. You say, I accept it automatically because now I've discovered this is the church which Jesus established. Now, as I say, if it's not the Catholic Church, you just got to find which one it is. Because then you can accept all its teachings. Right, so that's the approach I take. I obviously came to the belief that the Catholic Church is that church which Jesus established. So that's my decision, my assessment of the matter. Everybody has to make their own assessment of the matter. But I don't start from the particular doctrines. You don't do it that way, it seems to me. What you do is you start from an investigation of what is the church that Jesus established. And once you've investigated and found out the Catholic Church is not that church, then you're done. You're fine. Nobody has to say to me, it's wrong to say Mary was assumed bodily into heaven. Just say to me, the Catholic Church I've established is not the one Jesus established. And that would mean that actually Mary might have been assumed bodily into heaven at the end of her life. The Catholics got it right by accident, because the Catholic Church is the wrong church. I know you furrowed your brow there. What I was trying to say was, a false church can get things right by accident, right?
Yeah, but I'm
just by accident. So I was saying that even if you thought there was a Catholic teaching that was right, it wouldn't make the church true. It just got it right by accident.
Yeah, but the way I see it though is that anything which is important, God will reveal it. He's not going to hide something important for someone's salvation because there's no point.
I totally agree with you. But I believe the things that the Catholic Church teaches as being revealed by God, because they're revealed by the Church which God, who is Christ, established.
Yeah.
That's my reasoning. It has to, to me, you have to reason that way. Find the Church, or whatever institution it is that teaches, because there has to be an institution which tells us that we've got the right Bible. I mean, you, for example, have the St. James, and by the way, I'll say right now that I wanted to correct myself. I said to you that the New King James Version contained the bit in parentheses in Mark 7:1 about declaring all foods clean.
19.
7:19, yeah. I was mistaken. I was looking at too many Bibles. No, the New King James is the same as the Old King James in that respect. Okay, got that clear, because I wanted to catch you to tell you that. I don't know what my mind is doing sometimes. I think I've read something and I've not at all. Yeah, so in this Bible, I mean, you have 66 books, I have 73. The Eastern Orthodox have, I think, well, they have more than 73.
80 something.
I think the Copts or the Ethiopian Orthodox have the most.
Right.
Either way, somebody's right, somebody's wrong. I will talk about it in debate. I don't fret over the issue too much. After all, if the minimum number that everybody has is 66 and includes all the New Testament books and the most important Old Testament books, I'm not going to freak out too much about these 7 that are not in the...
Well, the Muslims do, they seem...
Yeah, but they love to do that, and they've got enough problems with their religion for me to worry about what they're doing.
Yeah.
But in our situation, you know, if one doesn't want to believe in Judith, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. If they said they didn't believe in the Gospel according to St. John, then I'd be losing sleep, and I'd have a big argument about it.
Yeah.
But over these others, it's just a matter of how we decide which books belong in and which don't. And it's a valid point, you know.
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen. Hello. Good to see you again, yet again, and good to see you again.
All right, anyway, yeah, I was just going to...
Yes. All right. See you later.